why did you all choose to participate in this particular program?
I chose to participate also just to like get out of the house in general after being stuck on Zoom for like felt like forever, and just in general trying to like learn more about the nature in the forest and just like not being home was like really fun.
For me, I got an email about it and I looked up more information about it. I saw that it's like outside work, just out of the house, and I took it as an opportunity to just learn something new.
Yeah, the same thing for me. I just wanted to get out of the house after being in quarantine.
Excellent. And how would you explain this program to other students who might be interested in participating?
For me, I think it's just like a chance to go outside and experience nature and the environment in Washington with like other people your age.
I have explained it to my friends before, and they're like, "Oh, that's so cool!" Like, I'm like, "Yeah, you get 1,800, I believe," and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna try to do it over the summer." Like, and I'm like, it's just pretty much like you do restoration work, and since my school, we're doing that, trying to build a 1 acre forest right now, and we're partnered with Forterra, and so pretty much I feel like if they really want to do it over the summer and like get paid for it, they can do that. And they're like, oh, let me do it, I want to do it. I'm like, it's so fun, you get to go to different places and just get to know a lot of different people and just get to be outside even more.
Yeah, this program is like an opportunity to learn about the environment around you and what the plants like, what they do, and the meaning that. Sorry, um, just what they do. Yeah.
Great. That's awesome, guys. I'm glad you guys have had a chance to talk to others about this. Do you think this program helped you develop an environmental ethic? For example, did you find yourself thinking about nature and or your community in a new way? Has it changed your lifestyle or the way you interact with your community?
I mean, yeah, it has, like, especially from removing like ivy from trees. Like whenever I drive by trees or like walk by them, I'm like, I'm so sorry, tree. Like I really want to help you, but you're just too deep and I can't reach you. And I'm just like, poor tree, poor tree. But yeah, it definitely does help. Um, just realizing that like there's so many components and so many things that goes into what affects the forest and what helps it, and just realizing like there's so many things that we don't know of. Like what we think we know isn't what we really know. There's so much more to learn.
Yeah, I agree with her. The program really changes your perspective about things around you, just about nature itself, practically.
Yeah, now I'm like more aware of like little things that I could be doing, like leaving the light on here and there, and then like looking at trees. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that is half the time. But yeah.
Excellent. So this was this, 6-week long program. And at the end, in the last week, you all got to spend 2 nights at Camp Waskowitz. And so I'm wondering if you could share a little bit about share a reflection about that overnight at the end of the program, and thinking about this team or this community of students that you worked with all summer.
It was so fun. And it was just like, oh my God, you worked with these people for over a month. I'm realizing like it's near the end. And it was so fun because like in the beginning of the usually between, I believe it was 8 all the way till 2, we would work in restoration. In the afternoon, we'd just like hang out and spend time with each other. It was like very fun and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, during that, it was a great opportunity to get earn new friends and get to know them really well. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, same thing with me. I got to like know people better just outside of that short period. I mean, not really, it wasn't really short, but that period of time from morning to afternoon, I got to like basically spend like 24/7 with them.
Sweet. Love that you guys really enjoyed that last week. If you had the opportunity, would you say you'd want to do this program again? And if you could also briefly explain why.
Yes, 100%. I would be able, if I would have this opportunity, I would love to do it again. I don't know, just like it really made me realize how being outside just helped me calm down and just realize that I'm like in love with it. And it's just like so fun. And I had a lot of experience. And if I did have this opportunity again, I would do it 100% again.
I would most definitely do it again, mostly because I want to see the new people that join and how they take in the experience of this program.
Yeah, I would also do it again just because like I didn't really sign up. I didn't, my intentions were not to do restoration work, but like the people that we worked with and the way we did it just made it seem better.
Excellent. I'm curious how this last summer's experience helped you think about what you want to do with your future. You have a couple of years of high school left, and then what? Yeah, if you want to share about that.
Yeah, it kind of like sparked an interest in me. Like, since I know I do want to join the military after high school, and I believe there is like some type of like restoration in it. So if they do, if I didn't decide to go to the military, I would definitely try to find a career in restoration.
Yeah, I would use this information that I learned from this program for my future job, which would be marine biology, which I'm interested in, and it really helps me just to know what is good for certain water types and the environment around it.
For me, it didn't really affect what I wanted to do as a career, but it still affected my future because I still think about the environment now. Before, like I really couldn't care. Go like, okay, yeah, someone's gonna do it, else I don't need to do this and that. But like now, I'm like, oh yeah, if I have time, I'll like clean up trees or whatever.
I'm curious if anyone the participants in this session have anything that you would like to ask the students at this time. Okay, cool. I counted to 10. Oh, no, go ahead. Yes, please.
I'm always willing to jump in with a question.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Oh, thank you so much. What an outstanding panel and experience and opportunity. And thank you, students, for joining to share with you about your time. I heard Montserrat talk a little bit about how being outside was calming. And I noticed that all of you talked about wanting to just kind of get away from Zoom and get outside as one of the motivations for joining this project. And so I just wondered if anybody, including Montserrat, but Jaden and Harkush too, if you want to talk about how you felt when you were out there in the field working, but also being outside.
For me, who I've always like struggled a lot with mental health, and especially with the pandemic, it took like a really big toll. And just being outside and just like, I don't know, like that moment of like hearing the birds and just being able to like pause for a moment and just like, no, it felt really relaxing and calming, and just realizing that I'm here in the moment, that I'm have this opportunity, not like many others do, to be able to work with wonderful people and just be able to be outside in nature was like an experience that I wish a lot of people could have experienced with me, but it's like something that helped me a lot.
I would have to say it's a very refreshing experience to be in such a calm environment. Nothing much going on around, it's just nature.
Yeah, it was. I feel like, yeah, I don't think it affected my personality as much, but it definitely like put a different vision in me.
Awesome. Good question, Elizabeth. Thanks.
Um,
Nicole.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, I believe Nicole
Yeah.
had a question, and then we do have a question in the chat that we'll get to from Hannah afterwards.
Hey there, thank you. Thank you all for sharing about your experiences. And I came in a little bit late, so I'm sorry if you already shared about this, but I'm curious how you all spent time outside before being involved in this project, and like what that looked like. What kinds of things did you do outside, or even do you still like to do outside? And then so this is sort of a two-part question. I'm also curious how being a part of this has maybe changed or affected the way that you are now and are going to be in spending time outside. I hope that was a clear question. It felt a little muddy, but whatever you say will be exactly right.
How I spent my time before this experience was just like probably just sitting outside in my backyard and then going back inside. Maybe just skateboarding or running around, but it wasn't the way I didn't like go on like hikes or anything like that. It was just most
Hey, Montserrat, I don't know if it's just me, but your audio cut out. Did that happen to other people? Uh-oh. You say something?
um
Oh, I think you're back. Wait, unmute.
yeah, I'm back.
Okay, great.
Did not hear that part.
So I was hearing you're saying like spending time in your backyard and like skateboarding, and then take it from there.
I forgot the second part of the question.
How is it going to affect your time, or how is this experience affecting your time going forward outside when you spend time outside?
Oh, okay. Since I go to a school where I'm up at Camp Wasquitz, 3 times a semester and just stay there 3 nights and 4 days. I really enjoy it. It's just like I'm actually outside, and since like we're building a forest, we like to go to parks and like do different type of research, and just in general, just being able to like enjoy walking through parks and just like take a moment sometimes to pause and look around me and like see a lot of the plants that I've worked with, like salmonberry or salal or poison ivy and Himalayan blackberry and trailing blackberry, which is just like nice to stop and be like, oh, I know this tree or I know that plant. Like just knowing the names is like pretty cool.
Yeah, for me, before this program, I wasn't really much of an outside person. I wouldn't really go outside all too much unless like I'd hang out with friends or with family. But after the program, being outside is like something I usually do now, just sitting outside, looking around, or just, I don't know, just hanging around out there. Not much inside anymore, yeah, compared to outside. Yeah, I'd most definitely say I'm an outside person now because of this.
For me, I don't think I mean, if the program did a little bit it barely affected the time I spent outside, because before I would like still go to parks with my friends or family, and then maybe like sometimes like go hiking, like maybe once or twice a year. But like now that I'm an actual high schooler and like my school isn't like online, I do have like a long commute. and that also like gives me like about 45 minutes outside, so I still get to like experience the stuff outside that I did before, but maybe with different people.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Good question, Nicole. And then a question from Hannah in the chat. Were you able to form long-term relationships or mentorships with some of the professionals that you worked with?
Since like we had like an event, so we had a guest speaker come in, and I reached out to Drew Stanley, I believe that's how you say his name. I reached out to him if he could like come over to our school to help us like figure out how to build a forest, or like what goes into being a forest, because he is Indigenous, and we just wanted to get like a perspective on that, and trying to figure out what plants should we plant, and like what would really help our environment more, and also like recognize that where we're building our forest did belong to the Duwamish, I believe. So we just really wanted to recognize the Indigenous people and just get a perspective on that. So it was definitely very helpful, because I'm like, oh yeah, I do know somebody that can help me, or I can ask people these questions or email them, because I'm like, I worked with them. So it was like really nice. So now I'm able to reach out to them if I have any questions, and which is great.
That's awesome. So I was Drew Slaney from the U.S. Forest Service. Wonderful.
For me, it's kind of so-so. After the program, I didn't really keep in touch, just a little maybe, and then the people that I did keep in touch with, they just keep me notified of what's going around, and yeah.
Yeah, the same thing with me. I didn't do much, but a little bit.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the follow-up questions, and students for continuing that conversation a little bit.